Hey gang, Claude Diamond here, and before we get to the video, I just wanted to tell you how much as a teacher I enjoy showing off my students doing deals, and Larry and Mariska example of what you can do too. And you're going to listen to them, their first-hand story, you know it's real, and it's just the best thing. Find the right mentor, find someone who's doing it successfully financially, who is doing it honestly and is willing to be accountable to you, answer your phone, return phone calls. Find that right person. It can be of me, of course, but if it isn't, find somebody who meets that criteria and you'll have the success. Now let's go to the story and listen to Larry and Mariska. Bye-bye. And hey, before I gotta say it, you know I answer my own phone. 970-281-5151, or just pull me up, Claude Diamond, on Skype anytime. Be glad to give you a free training session or answer a quick question. You have a great day. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. This is Claude Diamond. I'm talking with two really lovely people in Seattle. In fact, we'll call this episode Success in Seattle. And this is Larry and Mariska Gill. And you guys have just had some real success. And share it with everybody, because we love success stories. We love motivating stories.
Well, let's see.
I love the way you look at each other.
Well, we're a team, Claude. We bounce ideas off each other all the time, and we work well together. So yeah, we do have to kind of check in with each other. But yeah, it was just really crazy how it all worked together. But I guess when I think about it, it wasn't all that crazy. We did a lot of the legwork up front. We've got a great coach and mentor, and that's really helped us be. Yeah, I know, but it's true. You actually, I just have to put a little plug in for you. Since we started working,
shucks.
Since we started working with you, I mean, we feel like our business is just really accelerating.
That's very nice of you to say that, but I'm only as good as the student. I'm only as good as the student I work with, and you guys are great. You pay attention, and you apply. You do things. You're proactive. And that's great. Yeah. Now, you just did a deal, and the phone is still ringing. I found this part the most interesting. You did a deal on a property, and you can tell us the details in a second, but the phone is still ringing. People are still calling from the ads that you did and the signs and stuff.
People are still calling. There's a lot of demand.
Isn't that kind of like a residual effect? It's like a wave. It's still going.
It's still going, yeah. So even though the property is gone, we're still getting leads for future deals, so...
Gee, what could we do with these phone calls of these people who are still calling us from a deal that's gone, went away last week?
Well, we've been talking to them.
I'm waiting for the Jeopardy music here.
We have been talking to them and qualifying them and finding out what their pain is, how soon they're looking for a place to live. Which actually a lot of people, it varies anywhere from now to 5 months from now. But they're open to different areas and so forth. But so we've been kind of working with them and trying to get their information, and I should say trying to get their information, but using some of the resources that we have and chat with them. And basically we put them in our data buyers base. And if somebody has something that's going to fit for one of our other properties, then we're going to be on top of that right away and let them know when we do have something available, or if we've got another one that will work for them as well too.
So you have a whole list of ready-made buyers and investors. So when you get so you can even, I was thinking in reverse actually, you could call up on properties that are on the market now for rent or for sale and say, hey, I got somebody with $50,000 here right now. If we can structure a 36-month rent-to-own or owner-carry or lease purchase or something like that, can we talk business right now? And I think you're going to have their attention.
Yeah. Definitely. Money talks.
So cool. So tell us about the deal, the property. What kind of property is it? You guys are in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, We're just south of Seattle. So this is actually a Rambler that we own, and we had some renters in there for a while, and we actually had really great renters, but they decided that they wanted to move across the state, and so that's great. We wished them well, but... So we decided we were going to market the property on a lease option because, we're okay with parting with it, and the market's, starting to pick up now. So it looked like, and the rents are picking up too. So we advertised it on a rent-to-own basis.
Where did you advertise it?
Well, we use a lot of sources. We advertise it on Craigslist, in both the owner, for sale by owner, and the rental sections. We advertise on Zillow and Trulia and all the real estate websites. We have our own website that we advertise on.
Yeah, beautiful. What's the name? What's the address of your website again?
Thank you for asking that. That is leaseoptionseattle.com.
And I've got to say, Larry, you're a professional photographer. This is probably one of the most beautiful, classy designed web pages with pictures and video. And I'm not blowing smoke. It's really the Cadillac. I like Cadillacs of web pages for lease purchasing. So I recommend everybody take a look at it and learn from people who know what they're doing and really have something good.
And we like doing the videos too because we find that even though everything is on the website as far as the information about how a lease option works and so forth, a lot of times people don't like to read through that. So we do a video, and it's like a 5 or an 8 minute video, and people go through the video, and sometimes I'll ask them specific questions. Oh, did you see the deer at the end of the video? And they go, oh yeah, that was really cool. So then I know that they've watched the whole video, so they've seen everything too.
And you're right. We're in a culture where it's video and pictures and quick info. I'm what do you call it? A Luddite. I still read things like this.
You're so old school, Claude.
I have a newspaper delivery boy still comes to the house
do they
every
still
morning.
print those? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but that's your marketing to the way people like to absorb information. That's great. Let's hear about the nitty-gritty on the deal now.
Yeah.
How much option money? How much rent? What do you gross? If you don't mind sharing, what is your gross profit when they exercise the option?
Yeah. Well, let's see. The house would probably sell right now, or at least it would be marketed by a realtor right now for what? Probably about $260,
$280 tops.
Yeah, $260, $280 tops. It's in an appreciating area, a nice neighborhood. And so we decided to market it at the top at $315. That area is projected.
How dare you?
I know.
Yeah,
and yet our phone still rang off the hook.
How do you sleep at night? Now you pay, and you probably had to pay a real estate commission to someone to do all this, right?
No, we didn't.
Oh, God.
No, the lease option, we didn't need to necessarily have a realtor in the deal. So darn it, we're gonna.
So you got the top of the price in the market.
Yeah.
You didn't have to pay 6%. How long did it take to get the right tenant buyer?
20 minutes.
Yeah. 20. Well, from the time we posted the ad until we actually showed the property and everything, about 24 hours.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. How much option? Can I ask how much option money they put down?
$10,000.
Okay, that's good. You went out and had a nice steak and bottle of wine that night.
We did.
Okay. That money is non-refundable.
That's correct. It's non-refundable.
Okay.
We also bumped our rent up from what we had been charging our previous tenants because, rents have increased.
Can I ask how much rent you're charging? Round numbers?
$18.50.
$18.50. Oh, wow. And do you own this free and clear? Or rather,
we don't own it free and clear, but we are getting, about a $300, $400 cash flow from our mortgage, PITI.
Okay, so that's $3,600 a year. Positive cash flow plus $10,000.
Right.
It's a
plus,
gross.
since we still own the house until they exercise their option, we also have all the tax benefits.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And that house is generating a gross of $32,200 a year. A gross profit, not net profit. Mm-hmm. But it sounds to me like it's going to make about $14,000-$15,000, and when this nets down after your payments and everything.
Well, but we are giving a rent credit as well too. So if they exercise, and of course, and of course the rent has to be on the first day every single month, or otherwise they don't get the rent credit for that month. So that's actually is another little thing where people say, well, why don't I just rent it? But if we give the rent credits, which are basically generous, and then they've got a little incentive to make sure that their rent is never late, and at the end they know that they've got this X amount of dollars, which is going towards the purchase of the house too.
Yeah, so that gets escrowed, and then if and when they decide to exercise their option, that will be credited to them. They can use it for their down payment, for their closing costs, or just for principal reduction. So it's a really good deal for them too.
Question. Are they responsible for any minor maintenance on the property as a requirement of the lease option?
Yes, they are. They're responsible for about the first $1,000 per incident.
Per incident. So you don't even need a management company.
No.
And your maintenance costs, because this is a fairly well-kept property, from what I've heard from you. So they have to do the little washers and the little nitty-gritty little things, the annoying
clean the gutters and,
So you don't get the phone calls on Super Bowl Sunday to do this repair or that one.
Yeah, we wouldn't get them anyway because we'd be out on our bicycle most likely.
There you go. There you go. Well, what a great deal. And this is the one fun part. You're in a great marketplace. Seattle's always been a healthy market. It's had its ups and downs like the rest of the country, but it's remained more stable. And now it's appreciating because of you have such great low unemployment and so many great companies there employing people. So if they don't exercise the option, what if they renew the option for another year? Then you get another $10,000. You could also adjust the price if the market allows it, appreciate it. You could adjust the rent, or you could decide to keep it as a rental, or you could decide just to put it back on the market and sell it for cash or a tax exchange.
Exactly.
You have all this wonderful, you're in a win-win-win-win-win situation. Yeah. There's no downside for you, and you're maximizing your income possibilities on this property with a much better tenant, a tenant buyer.
Exactly.
So, bravo to you guys.
That's so true too, because Royal and Sierra, they're just a sweet young couple, and they're just thrilled that they're getting into a house that they can. Well, they can't buy right now, so that's why a rent-to-own lease option is really a big deal to them, and they are thrilled that they're getting in a nice house, and they're going to be able to buy it in several months, and.
Yeah, he needs a little more time on his job, and they're pre-qualified on her income for a lower amount. But once he's on his job a little bit longer, then they'll be able to qualify for the higher amount. So
this is just a great deal, a motivating deal, and it was your own property. Now the other deal.
Actually,
can we run out of time? I'm sorry.
Can I add one more thing on this? And we actually had Mark and Kristen are our renters. Mark basically showed the property. He was just, because we take good care of our renters and tenants and
how dare you? That's outrageous.
Yeah, and he was just thrilled to be able to walk the people through and show them the whole thing. And Rich kind of basically stood in the background and let him do the deal. And
then we talked numbers at the end.
Yeah.
You do things the right way. You do business honestly. You treat people well, reasonably. You ask them to be reasonable. You make sure you have a good contract so everybody knows what their obligations are. And you draw a line in the sand and say, this is the line. It's due on the 1st. It's late on the 2nd. We start to kick you out on the 3rd. You let them know as adults what their responsibilities are, what yours are. And guess what happens when,
It works.
It works. It works. So, there's a right and a wrong way to do business. Obviously, you're doing the right way. Now, I know some people will be watching and say, oh, they did this. This was easy because it was their own property. But you just did another deal.
Yeah, the next day.
With somebody else's property.
Yeah,
So it doesn't always have to be. Of course, it's always going to be easier when it's your own property. You have that one part of the deal taken care of. But you found another Did you find the property first or the tenant buyer first? I'd love to hear this.
We actually found the property first, and we weren't really looking for it, to tell you the truth. I had done some, just some searches on Craigslist for people who were advertising properties for sale or rent, and I got a response. And this was an area that was kind of outside of our usual area, a little bit further south from about 2 hours south of Seattle, or maybe even further, in kind of a depressed area, to be honest with you. But it was a brand new home, new construction. This builder has been building these houses, cute little house, and across the street from a lake, and just a great little area. And so we actually worked out an arrangement to lease option it from him, and then with the idea that we were going to lease option it to a future tenant buyer. And so he was thrilled because he says, look, I don't like to sell, I just like to build. So we took care of his problem and his pain, and took over the property. We had it probably a little bit longer than we normally would like to, but only because we were out of town for
traveling a lot.
I mean, we ended up having it for about 2 months, and we were gone for about a month of that time. So, in fairness,
somebody has to go to Hawaii.
Yeah. But we actually weren't in Hawaii. We were actually getting some more training and then doing some bicycling and stuff. But it was good. But anyway, but the payments are so low. I mean, we're actually paying $500 a month. And as it turns out, with this new our new tenant buyers, we did a market analysis, and they're going to be paying $995.
How do you sleep at night? That's all I
know.
So you mean you're going to make about $495 a month on someone else's deal who was happy to give it to you under a contract?
Absolutely.
Well, actually, we did give them a $5,000 option fee.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're fine with that.
And you did that why, Larry?
Well, he basically needed a little help too, as far as he wanted to move on to the next, and we wanted to have we wanted to let him know we had some skin in the game. We're sincere about this, and we wanted to stay in the middle. So.
And also, I mean, part of the reason we might not normally put down that much, but we look at this as being a opportunity for future deals and future partnerships with this builder.
Okay, so you found the right tenant finally.
Yes, we did.
How much they gave you option money?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yeah. So they'll completely take care of our option money that we put down.
Oh, so you got your money back. So you have no money in the deal essentially at this point.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
And you knew this property would generate. You knew you could recoup at least the 5, if not more, on this property.
Exactly.
And your lease is for how long?
For these folks, we did a 2-year term.
Okay.
Just because they're pretty young. He's brand new on his job, and they have no credit. They don't have any bad credit. They just have no credit. So we agreed to do a 2-year term and with an option to renew.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, you put down 5, you received 5, you're making almost $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year on a 2-year lease. So this one deal with no money in it, you're making $12,000 on the life of the 2-year lease.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Then
I love it. It can't get better.
If and when they exercise, we'll actually make about $30,000 on the back end because our price is $123.
We'll actually make about $40.
Oh, about $40. Sorry,
yeah.
$123, and their price is $160.
What do you think? Let me ask a kind of a loaded. What do you think you're doing right that other people are not doing? What do you think is your philosophy or your skills in negotiating? How are you finding these? What do you think your overall philosophy is for these great deals you're doing?
I think so much of it is basically getting to people's what's their pain and what's the situation, and really just asking the right questions and rather than trying to do a sales presentation all the time, really kind of find out what really they need and what they want and what's going to work for them, and I think that's really a
mm-hmm. One of the things we actually have as a tagline or as our title on our business cards, it doesn't say real estate investor, it says real estate problem solver. Because that's how we view ourselves, If we can help somebody solve their problem, solve their pain, great. And if we can't, we can't help everybody. But there's a lot of people out there who do have problems, problem real estate, they need to move, they need to sell for whatever reason, or they'd like to buy, but they just need more time. And this just really fits a nice niche in between.
So you're looking for people who have problems, situations, and in real estate they can be very costly, very big problems. You're approaching them in a very straightforward, empathetic manner. You're saying, hey, let me ask you a few questions, let me find out your problem. Maybe we can help you, maybe not. If we can help you, you make an offer. You do your due diligence, obviously, on the property, and you look for properties that you can turn over in 30 to 60, 90 days at the worst. And make yourself and get out of any commitment, a financial commitment on the deal, like you did with the $5,000.
Yep.
And get a stream of income, an extra $500 a month for years on this property, plus the potential to make another $30. And you're just going to people and saying, we're doctors of real estate.
Haven't used that term, but I like it.
And I like that because I think too many people in this business make it adversarial. They're trying to, there's a lot of ego in negotiation. And when you go to somebody and say, I want to, they don't say it directly, but they're saying, you made a lot of mistakes and now I want to steal your property. And I think people get very defensive, and it sets up a bad tone for negotiating. And you don't do that. You approach people in a very nice, mature, knowledgeable way to get the respect for your knowledge and time, and then you lock up the deal and go to Hawaii or California, whatever you guys do. So bravo to you. You're doing it the right way. Who's the salesperson in the family?
Oh, we both are.
We both are? Oh, good.
Yeah.
So do you make a lot of phone calls?
We don't think of ourselves as salesmen. We just think of ourselves as talking to people. It's
problem solvers.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the difference too. I mean, I think sometimes people try to force that square peg into a round hole and say, this is what I can do for you, instead of finding out what do they need and can I help them? And that's really the difference.
Do you think we've done a lot of role-playing and a lot of practice on sales and qualifying and trying to get into their head and controlling our Do you think that's helped you a lot?
Oh, it's made all the difference. All the difference, absolutely.
And now, as you know, we're also coaching other students, and we're getting a lot of thrill out of that, too, where our students are, it's kind of like when the light bulb goes off and they get it and
they start having successes and everything. It's really exciting, and we learn a ton too, so it's great.
And so it's like the perfect business. You can work from your lovely home. You can travel. You take the little iPad or iPhone with you.
Best coffee.
And, the iPhone and coffee. That's all I need for business, right? Absolutely. And you're not only doing your own deals and creating income, but you're teaching other people, and you're mentoring yourself. So bravo to you guys. What a success story. I think I'll call this video Success in Seattle.
Okay. All right.
You guys, you guys, until your next deal, you take care. It was thanks for sharing this great stuff. Bye-bye.